They laughed when she walked in. The cafeteria buzzed with whispers, and a few eyes rolled as she placed her tray on the table. They looked at her uniform, the small but precise badges on her chest, and one of them asked in a mocking tone, "So, what's your rank?" She looked up calmly, and with a voice that carried the weight of discipline and quiet power, she said, "Lieutenant Commander." The noise in the cafeteria fell silent. For the first time, they saw not a woman in uniform, but a leader who had earned every stripe through grit, courage, and sacrifice. Respect filled the room where mockery once lived. There is something deeply powerful about moments like that. They remind us how quickly perception changes when truth walks in with confidence. Behind every title, there is a story of struggle. Behind every rank, there are years of dedication, sleepless nights, and silent victories. And behind every quiet face that others underestimate, there is often a storm of strength waiting to be revealed. When she said those words, "Lieutenant Commander," she wasn't just naming a rank. She was unveiling the weight of her journey, the persistence of her mission, and the discipline of a leader forged through fire. Every great transformation starts with doubt. When people doubt you, they unintentionally give you the gift of challenge. Her journey began when no one believed she could belong in the military, much less rise through its demanding ranks. She faced endless questions, whispered judgments, and the invisible barriers that so many women encounter in places still learning what equality truly means. But she understood something most people never grasp. Success isn't earned in the spotlight, it's forged in the shadows of hard work where no one claps, no one watches, and no one believes. The more they doubted her, the harder she worked. While others talked, she trained. While others slept, she studied. She didn't wait for validation. She built her own standard and demanded excellence from herself first. In every room she entered, people measured her before she even spoke. They measured her by her size, her gender, her tone. But she measured herself by discipline, knowledge, and endurance. The world often expects strength to roar, but true strength sometimes speaks softly and commands attention through action, not volume. She knew that real authority does not need to announce itself, it reveals itself through composure, skill, and results. When others mocked her, she listened, not to their words, but to her own calling. She learned that silence can be the loudest answer, and calm confidence can be the most powerful form of resistance. Leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room, it's about being the most stable one when everything shakes. During her early deployments, she faced situations that tested not just her training, but her will. Long hours in unpredictable conditions, the pressure of command, and the responsibility of lives under her care became her daily reality. Every decision she made carried weight. She learned to remain calm when chaos surrounded her, to lead not with fear but with clarity. Her confidence wasn't arrogance, it was preparation. The same composure that silenced laughter in the cafeteria was the composure that had once steadied her entire team in a crisis. Leadership, she discovered, isn't proven in moments of comfort but in moments when everything depends on you staying grounded. Respect is never given freely, it's earned through consistency. Those who mocked her didn't understand what that rank truly represented. To earn Lieutenant Commander, she had endured years of demanding evaluations, rigorous physical tests, and complex missions that required both intellect and emotional intelligence. It was a title carved out of perseverance. What froze the cafeteria wasn't just the authority in her voice, but the realization that she had earned what none of them could ever fake. Real respect grows from authenticity. People can argue with opinions, but they cannot argue with results. And her results spoke for her long before she did. Her story teaches us that humility and power are not opposites, they are partners. She never needed to shout about her achievements. Her quiet presence carried authority because it came from experience, not ego. In a world where too many chase recognition, she chased mastery. Every obstacle she faced became a lesson, and every failure turned into a stepping stone. That is what true growth looks like. She learned to transform criticism into energy, isolation into focus, and barriers into motivation. That mindset doesn't just create leaders, it creates legacies. The cafeteria moment was symbolic of something larger that happens in society every day. People often make the mistake of underestimating others based on appearance, gender, or background. They assume strength looks a certain way, that authority sounds a certain way. But true leadership defies assumptions. When she said, Lieutenant Commander, she shattered the invisible ceiling that had been hovering over her for years. It wasn't just a statement of rank, it was a declaration that perseverance and excellence transcend prejudice. It reminded everyone that respect isn't owed to titles, it's owed to the work that earns them. She represents the quiet warriors among us, the ones who rise early, work tirelessly, and ask for nothing but the chance to prove their worth through action. These are the people who change systems not through rebellion, but through relentless performance. The cafeteria froze not because of fear, but because truth revealed itself in that moment. When truth stands tall, mockery always falls silent. It's a moment we can all relate to, being underestimated, being laughed at, and then, one day, watching those same people stand speechless as your work speaks louder than their words ever could. If there's one lesson her journey leaves us with, it's that excellence is the greatest revenge. She didn't need to defend herself with words, she let her achievements do it for her. Every stripe on her sleeve represented nights of sacrifice, hours of discipline, and the courage to keep going when the world said stop. Her story isn't just about a rank, it's about resilience, identity, and dignity. It teaches us that the real measure of success is not how many people applaud you, but how many you silence with respect. Somewhere, right now, another young woman is walking into her own cafeteria, her own workplace, her own battlefield of judgment and doubt. And she too will be asked in mockery, "Who do you think you are?" Her answer might not be, "Lieutenant Commander," but if she carries the same strength, the same quiet conviction, the same refusal to bow to limitation, then one day, her room will freeze too. Because truth, no matter how softly spoken, always commands the room.